So let's begin. So I would say that the questions that have come through and things that people seem to want to hear about is nutrition and when is the best time to eat after a workout. So we'll start there and we'll see where we go.
Cool. Sounds good.
Who said I wanted to talk to you first? What about you, Jason?
I'd like Brendan to go first.
All right.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you just ruined your chance for some knowledge bombs. It really comes down to, individuals. So after a workout, post-workout, I mean, you want to be able to get your proteins and also carbohydrates in relatively quick. You want to have something that's
How quick are we talking here?
As long as you're getting it in within 3 hours, it should be fine. There's a lot of bro science out there saying, you have to get your protein in 15 minutes, 30 minutes after workout. It doesn't really matter all that much. Probably the biggest thing is the carbohydrates in.
Okay.
So you do need to actually have carbohydrates. So having a protein that actually has a bit of carbohydrates in.
So because that's the thing, I've always heard that protein replenishment and around about 60 grams is the most important thing to do within about an hour after training.
But
Bro science.
Yeah. Bro science. Yep. Was that on a Instagram post? Someone trying to flog you an ebook on nutrition?
Yeah. I bought it.
Wow. Good marketing. You do have to replenish the energy source because remember, protein's not energy.
Mm-hmm.
Protein's just to regenerate muscle synthesis. So there's different types of protein. So you got your whey isolate, and then you've also got your casein protein. So you got your fast and your slow digesting ones.
So which one's which? Just for the people that have no idea about any of that.
So our whey are the fast digesting ones. So
Jason's learning a lot right now.
Oh, bloody hell.
and then our
That's why I'm here.
casein ones are our slow digesting ones. So if you were casein is going to make you stay fuller for longer.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually have they say, I'm not going to say it's 100%, they say having casein before bed keeps your metabolism ticking over while you sleep. So apparently you're this fat burning machine while you sleep.
So casein protein is...
Casein protein.
Yeah.
I prefer to have a concentrate rather than an isolate.
Mm-hmm.
So having a mixture of both in the protein, I would probably suggest was going to tick all the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Once again,
And is that best to find that in powders, or are we talking foods?
it depends on what you can stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've just done Fran and you can smash down,
So if you're... So what I'm trying to get at is... So after we finish the workout, we're smoked, we're completely tired, we go home and we've got 3-4 hours before we got to be asleep and get up for the next day.
I reckon whatever works for you as an individual.
Yeah.
If you've got time to go home, whip up a steak, whip up some vegetables and some complex carbohydrates and stuff like that, go for it. If you don't have time for that, and protein shake.
Go for the shake.
Yeah.
And it's also what you can stomach.
Yeah.
Some people can do a workout and 15 minutes later they're hoeing into 200 grams worth of rice and 100 grams worth of chicken, and it's fine. Some people just they have to have a liquid form, and that means where a shake would be a great supplement. But I mean, supplements are never actually the the answer to good quality food.
Mm-hmm. What do you eat straight after a workout?
What do I eat straight after a workout? Training in the morning or at night? So
well, let's go through both of them. Let's hear what you do in the morning, and then what you do at night. Red Bull?
I do. I unfortunately, I don't subscribe to intermittent fasting, but because of the nature of the way I work, it's essentially what I do. I probably don't eat until probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So after, if I train in the morning, after a workout, I'll generally have a banana and an apple to get my sugar levels up, so I'm actually feeling fit and firing. Then I'll have my carbohydrates and I'll have my proteins in about 12, 1 o'clock.
And so what will that look like? What will a meal for you look like at that time?
So my meals are actually quite boring, so I have to do the FODMAP diet.
Okay.
So that means any sort of onion or any sort of garlic or anything is completely out for me.
Yeah.
So mine looks like 120 grams worth of brown rice and chicken with a butter chicken sauce.
Okay.
I've got a really, really boring diet.
Because what's your condition that you have?
So FODMAP is certain foods irritate the lower intestine.
So you've got the IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your kind of daytime or your morning routine.
Yep.
Then you've got a nighttime routine that's different to that.
Yep. So my nighttime routine is I use wraps quite a fair bit.
Okay.
So I'll have a wrap with some sort of, well, most of the time I'm chucking some sort of salad, and then again chicken into that as well. So yeah, as for variety, mine's really not that great. But I am definitely hitting my grams of protein. So I'm hitting so what I aim to look for is I look to eat 1.7 grams per kilo worth of mass that I have. And that's actually going to help with building muscle.
Okay.
And that's what I look at for muscle regenesis for that particular area. And then generally I'm going to go for a 2-for-1 in regards to my carbohydrates. With high intensity interval training, you need carbohydrates. So you almost need 2 carbohydrates for one. Now,
2 carbohydrates for 1 what?
So for 1 gram worth of protein, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, you need to be able to actually fuel that. Now with that, you've also got to be careful of your fats as well. So just remember, carbohydrates and proteins are worth so 1 gram of carbohydrates is worth 4 calories. 1 gram worth of protein is worth 4 calories. And 1 gram worth of fat is worth 8 or 9. Don't quote me on that.
9.
9.
9?
Yeah, 9.
Nice.
So if I can cut out a gram worth of fat out of my diet, that means I can add in an extra gram of carbohydrates and also of protein.
Okay.
So that's where you can actually eat a decent amount of food and not starve yourself, and not be in a caloric surplus if that's what your goal is.
Okay, so, well, and that's the thing as well for people that are brand new to nutrition and they're just trying to figure out what should I eat after a workout? How do I manage my timing for what I eat?
Yep.
I guess what you saying you eat what exactly before, like after a workout for you, Jason?
Me after workout, it's usually very different. I usually work out on an empty stomach. That's just because I usually work out in the morning and get up really early, so it's just a coffee.
Okay.
Just a coffee to get me going. After that, nothing specific. My diet's always changing, but I'm always trying to hit some proteins, some carbohydrates, and some fats every meal.
Yeah. So you're not too strict on what you eat?
I like to keep it very simple. I used to count calories and stuff like that. I think it can work. People show that it does work. But it can, not saying it will, it can also lead to like a bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work that well for me because I end up wanting to binge too much. So if I focus on training more and eating enough fats, proteins, and carbohydrates to benefit my training, usually works out pretty well.
Well, that's the thing. I think that a lot of people will focus on calories when they're going through a phase of how they look over how they perform.
Exactly.
So usually your own body will give you a good reference point for how you're performing, how you wake up, how you feel in the morning, how you sleep at night, and just how you feel throughout the day. And usually the foods that you're eating ongoing is going to give you an idea as to what that is. Okay, we're back in action, baby. We got 3 red lights and we are ready to rock and roll, yo.
That's beautiful, man.
Okay, so that's probably not going to be in the final cut.
Oh,
Let's hope not.
Hopefully that is though.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're talking about here, guys, to get back on track is the idea of what you should eat. If you are basically somebody who just eats trash all day, every day, or you eat majority of your food to be takeaway or just crap from the supermarket, and you just don't really have any ideas to where you should start or what you should do or how you should just have a basic diet to help you with your training, where would you start, Jason? Let us know.
CrossFit puts it pretty simply. Eat protein, complex carbohydrates, which is nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, those sorts of things. Some starch, being from potatoes, rice, and that sort of stuff. And it says no sugar, but you're crazy if you're not going to have any sugar. So limit your sugar as much as you possibly can. Okay.
So I guess if you're going to the supermarkets, and somebody watching this is just thinking, all right, I have no idea. Like I need a general idea of what I should be buying. Personally, what I would say to them is just get some lean meats and some vegetables. One thing I like to do if I'm time poor or if I'm struggling with my nutrition and I'm finding myself binge eating or just not very motivated to eat, I'll get myself some lean meats and those snap frozen bags of mixed vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely.
Microwave the veggies up, cook some meat. It takes 15 minutes, and then you feel light afterwards. You feel replenished, and that works a lot for me. That works really well for me. And even some of the frozen meals, as much as they're not ideal, some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
And it's better than junk food.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, if you can start trying to look at having some progression with your nutrition, not going from, hey, just eating like an absolute monster, to then going like freak show, like calorie counting and all that. We want to just change it from really bad eating to just gradual progression.
Exactly. That's the thing. With eating good, you want it to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So usually a diet is not the best choice of words because it means there's an endpoint.
That's a
and
good
it
one.
should be a lifetime change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So starting to learn, eat healthier, but keep it simple. So like you said, lean meats, or any source of protein, complex carbohydrates, which are the better carbohydrates or the better sugars.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, some fruit, and then lots of vegetables.
Okay.
Absolutely. And when prepping yourself for a week or prepping yourself to, go forward, we don't expect people who aren't doing any sort of meal preparation or have any sort of meal preparation to then, prep 15 meals a week. Just prep 3. That's 3 more good meals than you would have had than what you would have had last week. That'll automatically help with your nutrition and help with your weight as well.
Mm-hmm.
One big tip I've got is a slow cooker.
Okay.
Slow cookers are probably the best investment because I can't cook. I am horrific at cooking. I chuck it in the slow cooker. I put a sauce on top of it, leave it for 8 hours, and then I've got 5 meals there sitting for me during the week, and then I'll add my rice or I'll put it into a wrap with a little bit of salad. So just starting off with maybe 2.
What was your address again? So that sounds like a nice...
Butter chicken. Oh, it's pretty nice.
It's a dream.
It is. And just all you need to do is put it in the microwave, warm it up, chuck it in there. It still tastes pretty good. I know that fire fillet is like a little bit fatter, but it actually tastes better when you warm it up. So it's better for the meal prep. So is having a little bit more of fire fillet that you're actually going to eat compared to a breast fillet that if you keep it in the microwave and then heat it up, it tastes like you're eating erasers. Are you going to stick to that? Probably not.
Erasers?
Erasers. Like pen and pencil.
Have you actually eaten erasers before?
Well, I've done a lot of things.
Yeah, no, it must be good having your missus cook for you all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slow cooker. I'm married to a slow cooker.
Oh.
An objectifier.
So another point that I wanted to talk about, and a question that came through, is how much should you train when you're sick? So I think this comes down to, depends on how sick you are, depends on how long you've been training for, and how well you know your body. But some people go, okay, well, I've got a cold, don't go to the gym for 2 weeks. I personally don't agree with that.
No, you can definitely train when you're sick. Now, the type of training is, and the intensity of training is probably what you just need to modify, and you can chat to your coaches about. So, high intensity interval training is a fantastic way of improving your health. But in the short term, what it can actually do, it can suppress your immune system in the acute term for a very, very short period. So if you've already got a little bit of a bubble and a little bit of a niggle in your throat or something like that, do a high intensity session, could possibly, make it take over or grab hold.
Tip the scales, basically.
Yep. But coming in and doing, say, an aerobic session, say about 70 to 75% of your maximum exertion, what it actually can do is it can help with your lymphatic system. So that's the body's endocrine system that essentially, protects us against illness. Mm-hmm. The endocrine system itself doesn't actually have a pump system like the heart. It needs muscular contraction to actually pump yourself around the body. So the term flushing it out is essentially what the endocrine system is.
Okay.
So using your muscles to actually help weed out the virus through your body can actually help. Speak to your coaches, will give you advice. Go to 60 to 70% of your maximum exertion, and it can actually help and aid with recovery. And that's what active rest is as well. So if you come in with serious DOMs, sitting there on the couch ain't gonna help. You need to get it and you need to move. You're not gonna obviously PB on a Fran time or something like that, but get in and just move. If the workout's supposed to be in a high intensity, that's completely fine. Just do it at 70%. Talk to your coaches, and we will help you through that.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that some people, when they do feel a bit crook, they just maybe use that as an excuse to just stop altogether. it makes it a lot harder to come back to train. That's what I've found. I've thought sometimes, okay, well, I'll just not do anything. But I try to just do a little bit just to keep my body moving, my mind active, and to enjoy that process of continual training no matter how I feel or what's going on, because it's a lifestyle rather than just having to be perfect every single session.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, mentally, I reckon it's very beneficial because if you have 2 weeks off because you're sick, when you come back, it's going to be you're going to have a rough time.
Yeah,
you're not going to be happy coming back, and knowing that you've still worked out at 70%, something like that, so keeping it pretty easy, while you were sick, when you're fresh, ready to go, fully recovered, you're going to feel the drain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, and that also ties in pretty closely to what to do when you're injured. So, or when you say injured, or when I say injured, because you didn't say it, if you are ever injured from life, training, sports, outside activities, from something you're doing in here, first and foremost, we've got some great allied health here. We've got a chiropractor, absolutely. We've got an exercise physiologist, we also have a massage therapist here as well, and all of them are very focused and beneficial to the training regime. So if you feel like something's getting a bit tight or you're not moving as well as you'd like to, you can see those guys for some assistance. In saying that as well, if you've got something that's a little bit more long term, rather than just throwing the hat in, I'm big for scaling and to making sure that you can modify any workout to be able to continue your training journey.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you have a musculoskeletal injury, definitely come back in, because what we can actually do is sometimes it's the body just telling you need to, to settle down just a little bit, refine, your basic motor skills. So it's a fantastic
what will a musculoskeletal injury feel like?
So like a tendon tear, or if you've done a shoulder injury, so if you've torn a tendon, or if you've just got a little bit of a nick, or if you're just feeling essentially just a torn, what's called torn muscle, tendon, or ligament. Mm-hmm. There are times, where it can actually be beneficial. People can actually come in and they actually are better after an injury because they've actually spent the time to actually rehab that. Mm-hmm. So some people might have, an issue with the shoulder with range of motion for a long period of time. They haven't exactly spent the time to actually, increase their range of motion. That range of motion has stopped them from doing, say, weightlifting, pull-ups, or any of those particular types of movements. An injury happens. All of a sudden, they rehabilitate it. They become better. They become stronger. They actually understand training a little bit better. And lo and behold, within, 4 weeks of their return to play module, they're doing muscle-ups. Because it was a limiting factor. It just needed to them to take the time to actually then say, well, okay, this is what I need to work on. You worked on it, and now you are better.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand with some of the members here. Say they do have a shoulder niggle or more serious injury or something like that. When they scale it, come in here, do what their physios told them they're allowed to do, whether it's all lower body, whether you can push in front of the body but not above the head, or you're allowed to pull but you can't push, whatever it is, working way around it. Yeah, I have seen people 2 weeks in after they've recovered, 2 weeks in, already hitting PBs on the muscles and exercises that they couldn't do for that time. They're still getting better at them even though they're scaling.
Well, that's right. And it's sometimes even modifying movements. So you got to get out of that mindset as well of constantly doing RX. So if you see, or the standard that is set. So if there's a workout that's written to do, say, 10 burpees, 10 squats, and 10 pull-ups, but somebody struggles with the pull-ups, they might go, okay, well, I can't do that workout. I'm just not going to come in. The best way to do it is to modify those pull-ups and do something else completely different.
Yep.
Yeah, well, no, for sure. I myself scale workouts all the time. A lot of the members here rip me for it because I'm a coach, but I train smart.
Okay.
So,
so what are your goals as well? Like, it also comes down to what your goals are. Some people want to be the baddest competitive athlete they can be, or they want to just train for life, or they just want to move well and feel good. What are your end goals? What's your reason for training? What's your why?
It's for health. I'm not an athlete. I'm not genetically gifted to be an athlete. But that being said, I'm trying to get as strong as I possibly can while staying mobile, fit, and trying to be good at CrossFit. So I want to try to be good at everything.
Have you ever been in a mindset where you've tried to be like a competitor?
Yeah, well, when I first seen CrossFit, before I knew too much, I looked at it and thought, oh yeah, bit of hard work, couple of years, I think I'll make it to the game. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, got to be very genetically gifted and also the hardest worker in the room to get to there. So not just the hardest worker in the room.
So then you've had a mind shift and you've gone, all right, well, I love CrossFit. I love the methodology. I love the way I feel when I work out and when I finish a workout, and also the people that are here. Yeah. So you've got to have a mindset that goes, well, I want to do this for a long time. So if I'm feeling a bit tight in a certain area, have a chat to the coach. In your case, a conversation with yourself.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Or with Brendan. He helps you out a lot. I've seen that.
Yeah. And
that gives you the ability to work out exactly what the long-term plan is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Slow progress is always going to be better than short-term progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, slowly getting stronger and slowly getting fitter is going to be better than a quick spike and maybe an injury or something like that if you're going too hard too soon.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. Brendan, what have you got for that one?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to... Effort isn't everything. All right, so anyone can give effort. If effort, if you're just going for, health, effort is completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to be an athlete, if you want to call yourself an athlete, you have to have effort with purpose. You actually have to know exactly what you're actually doing and have a clear mindset of what you're actually looking to perform.
Mm-hmm.
With training, if someone's serious about training and want to actually achieve high levels worth of success in any sort of given sport, it's routine.
Mm-hmm.
It's routine. They need to work on their weaknesses and they need to come in and train with purpose. I've competed at a pretty high level in football and also basketball. I know what it's like to turn up every single day and get your shots up, get your kicks in, do the training drills, do the same training drills, but to actually have a mindset and understanding of what you need to do to perform at a high level for a long period of time. Working in elite performance as well, seeing it day in, day out, and also seeing the drive of the people who can actually go to the next level compared to the people who don't go to the next level. Everyone can give effort. Effort's really, really easy to give.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people who train consistently and train with purpose and actually know what their goals are. They don't know what their goals are most of the time. They have they talk to their coaches in regards to actually setting goals, and the coach will say, I want you to work on this today. You then need to go work on that.
So, and that also probably ties into what we like to do here as well, is set goals for the members.
Yeah.
And being able to know them personally and provide them with that guidance and help them with their training goals. And then this podcast is a great opportunity to talk about those things that might be on their mind, which is how do I start eating a little bit better? How do I improve this journey? So rather than looking at it going, I'm going to be fixed in 2-3 months, go, well, I've got to stick at this for 2-3 years and see how I turn out, see what happens. Just be consistent, don't overdo it, scale where needed, pull back if you're sick, but don't give up, and have a fun time in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's progressions with that. There's, depending on how long you're actually in a gym for, there's times where you just it's training to train. You need to learn how to train. You need to learn how to read a program. That's the first stages. Then there's training to compete. So then you need to understand what the shift is between training to train and then training to compete. Then from training to compete, it's training to win. There are 3 different stages. Getting up to the training to win, some people never get there. Some people also never get to the stage to train to actually compete. You're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 years to go through those sort of progressions for real progression to go to those higher standards. Now, that's if you're looking to compete. Training to train and training to health, just come in and get some volume in and enjoy it. And that's the most important part. Come in and enjoy it and have fun. And then...
How good did his voice sound when he said that?
Oh, yeah. Sounds like
I'll be listening to that.
Oh, yeah.
I felt that you meant it. Come in and enjoy it. And that's something that's really important to me as well. And that's why I really love your program, and I love, you as a head coach, and also Jason as well. He's a fantastic coach, and the whole concept of what we try to do here is to provide an environment for everyone to be able to reach whatever goal it is they have, and that we're here to assist them in that journey. And so I think a really important thing is the majority of people that come want to train and train for health and to train for their life to improve with their families, with their work environment. with their home life and just the way they feel about themselves. And if people want to take it to that next level, then absolutely, we'd love to see that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think...
Oh, sorry, mate, you go.
No, sorry. I think that's one big thing about us as a gym as well is we're all full-time coaches. Like, it's what we do. This coaching is essentially how we pay our bills. So, we have to be good at what we do. I think that's very different than someone who coaches as a hobby. Our livelihoods depend on this. We're obviously given away, opportunities to do other things, to follow this path, to be the best coaches of what we can be. And I think, me and Jason are, full-time coaches. This is how we, this is how we make a living. This is what we want to do. We've actually sat down and actually said, this is the path that we want to go, and I'm going to do the best possible job that I can to get, my livelihood to do the things that I love.
Yeah, really good. That's good. Well, I'm pretty excited for you guys, and we've seen some awesome changes and some improvements to the gym over the last 6 months, and what's coming in the next 6 months is going to be even better. We've got some cool things happening with a lot of fun, enjoyable programs involved in the gym. Any final comments, guys?
I wanted to bring it back to that scaling real quick. What, you good, man?
Yeah, no, just bring that about there, I reckon.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I screwed up the whole podcast, didn't
I?
Yeah. Bring it back to scaling. I'd like members to start thinking about what they're actually trying to achieve from a certain exercise or a workout. If it's something like, what stimulus are you trying to get from it? If it's 2 minutes of max wall balls, and you think, well, I can handle RX plusing it, I might get 10 reps. 10 reps in 2 minutes is not the kind of reps you're after. Okay, that's why we usually have set goals to get. Going RX or even scaling it to get more reps out is, if that's what you're after, would be a much better alternative. And if we're doing weightlifting, for example, going too heavy too soon, you see it a lot. Working on technique first, and then once that is looking good, speed underneath the bar, that sort of stuff, then start adding the weight while that remains. Because that's how you're actually going to progress and get better, rather than throwing around heavy weights that you can't really control.
No, that's spot on. I've heard this really good saying before about scaling, and it's that double unders are scaled, triple unders, chest to bar pull-ups are scaled, muscle ups are scaled, weighted vest, weighted vest, muscle ups. Burpees are scaled forms of burpee backflips.
Yeah.
So there's always a scale, even if you're hitting RX or RX plus, that's scaled to something.
Yeah.
So working within your parameters and giving it every single thing that you've got in that parameter, feeling that you're moving well, that you have your technique on point, and that you're having an absolute blast while you do it. But if you feel like this is killing me and I'm about to collapse under this weight, you've got it all wrong. You've got to have that process of doing it with power and speed, and then building a bit more each time.
Exactly. I like to think whatever exercise it is, make it look good.
Yeah, and that's training with purpose. Yeah, and that's effort with purpose. Train the stimulus, not the exercise. Understand what you want to get out of it. If you don't, talk to us. I mean, we've got a podcast to, let just so we can sit down and riff on this sort of stuff. So we're pretty much going to chew your ear off if we ask us a question. So, have a chat to your coaches. It's what we're here to actually do. And train with purpose. Train what you want to train. Focus on what you want to get at, and understand that it's a process. Everything's a skill. It does take time, but enjoy the fruits when it comes. That's the most important thing. Enjoy those wins.
All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. That was good fun. I enjoyed that one. I look forward to next week. And if you've got any questions about what you'd like to hear in our next podcast, we'd love to hear what you want to know.
Are you going to say comment and subscribe?
Like
what the all the YouTubes?
Not yet. Subscribe.
Because I don't think that's going to work.
It usually doesn't help.
It doesn't help. I think usually
it irritates you a little bit.
It does.
And you skip to the next video.
That's right. I rage quit, mate.
I've rage quit on life.
Yeah. All right. So subscribe and make sure you like this video.
Up in the corner.
All right. Peace out.
All right.
See you, gang.